Hello, and welcome to Red Alt Key. I'm Leslie, and today we're diving into the exciting world of Linux, an operating system, an open source operating system that is taking the tech world by storm. In this extended video, we'll not only answer the question, why Linux, but also take a closer look at how you can use it effectively in your daily computing life. Linux powers everything from desktop computers to servers, and even embedded systems like smartphones and home appliances. It's everywhere. Let's start with the basics. What is Linux? And how does it work? We'll explore the heart of Linux, the kernel, and understand how it is the foundation of various Linux distributions. But before we get to the technical nitty-gritty, let us take a moment to appreciate the fascinating history of Linux and the global community that keeps it alive. Linux was born in 1991 when a Finnish student, Linus Torvalds, decided to create his own operating system kernel. What started as a personal project gained attention because Linus did something revolutionary. He made his code open source. Open source means anyone can view, modify, and contribute to the code. This caused a snowball effect when passionate developers from around the world joined forces to improve Linux. Today, the Linux kernel is maintained by a global community of developers, maintainers, and volunteers. These individuals are driven by a shared passion for creating a free and robust operating system that can be used by anyone, anywhere. This collaborative spirit has not only made Linux incredibly powerful, but also highly secure and adaptable. It's a testament for the potential of open source development. So, when you use Linux, you're not just using software. You're becoming a part of a global community of enthusiasts, innovators, and problem solvers. Now that we've touched on the incredible history and community of Linux, let's move on to why you should consider it for your computing needs. Now let's get into the reasons why you should choose Linux as your operating system. We'll do a deep dive into the following aspects: security, customization, performance, community. Linux is not just for tech enthusiasts. It's gaining traction in the business world as well. We'll take a look at its market share and see how it's becoming a go-to solution for enterprises. That will be in future videos though. For now, let me give you a walkthrough on how to install Linux as a virtual machine using Hyper-V on Windows 10. Notice that I've already downloaded the installation file, which is a file with an extension ISO. I'll be installing the distribution of Linux called Ubuntu. The installation is from the website ubuntu.com. You click on download. I'll be installing the desktop edition. So you install it by clicking on Get Ubuntu Desktop. And then you click on download. At the time of this recording, the latest version of Ubuntu is 22.04.3. So click on download, and then it starts downloading to your local computer. I won't download it. I've already shown you where it is in my downloads folder, the ISO file. We'll be using a tool that is available for Windows 10 Professional, which is called Hyper-V. Hyper-V is a hypervisor that allows us to install alternate operating systems inside of Windows, and in this case is Windows 10. Going to right click here, that's the name of the local desktop. If your computer is called something else, that's the name that you'll see. Right click new virtual machine. Next, we'll call it Ubuntu demo. Next, give it 2 gigs of RAM, 2048. That's 1024 times 2. Set dynamic memory to on. Next, give it the external switch, which I've already created, which gives the virtual machine access to the internet. Next, 127 gigabytes is a bit too much. Let's give it 30. Choose the second option, install an operating system from a bootable CD-ROM. This case is not a physical CD-ROM. As a matter of fact, this Windows 10 computer does not have a physical CD/DVD drive. We'll click on the second option there, second sub-option. Click on Browse and then choose the ISO file and click on Open. Next, summary of our installation. Click Finish. It has created the virtual machine. So we'll right click on it and go to Settings, because there are a couple of things we need to set up. The first one is the processor. This Windows 10 computer has 4 virtual processors, so we're going to set this to 4. The more processors you give to a virtual machine means more tasks that it can run simultaneously. Go to memory. Dynamic memory is already on, which means that if the machine does not need the whole 2 gigabytes, we've permitted it to release as much as 3/4 of its RAM, so that it will use as low as 512 megabytes of RAM. This number doesn't matter because it won't go over it, because it will be limited by the RAM amount that we set during the installation. So we'll click on Apply. Okay. Then we'll right click on the machine we created and go to Connect. Click on Start. Choose the first option and press Enter on the keyboard. This will confirm language English and then go to Install Ubuntu. Keyboard language English US, English US. Click on Continue. Normal installation, which will install the web browser, utilities, Office software, which is OpenOffice or LibreOffice. I'll confirm that. Then games and then media players. By default, you should set this to download updates while installing Ubuntu, but I will disable this to speed up our installation. Third-party software or graphics is if your host machine, the Windows 10 machine or Windows 11 machine, has an additional piece of hardware. For example, could have an NVIDIA graphics card or a wireless card or something that would require specific drivers to be installed for it to work. Click on Continue. It will erase the whole disk. Well, by disk here, it's not the Windows 10 disk. It's that 30 gigabyte virtual disk that we created. Click on Install Now. And it's confirming it will create 2 partitions on that virtual disk. Continue. It has identified our location using the IP address that we were connecting with, and then continue. Your name. So in this case, it's your name. Okay. It has already defined the computer name, but you can retype the name to whatever computer name you prefer. I'll keep the username and choose a password. Good. And continue. Now it's installing it. I'm going to speed up the video here so you don't have to wait as long as I have to. Okay, it's done. Installation is complete. Restart now. Now the virtual machine is restarting, and then it says, please remove the installation medium, then press enter. It's asking us to disconnect the ISO file from this virtual machine. So it's actually been disconnected it already. So go back to it here and then press enter, and it's restarting. Okay, the virtual machine has started up. There's a wizard that comes up prompting me to connect it to online accounts as Ubuntu, single sign-on, Google, Nextcloud, and Microsoft says connect to accounts to access your online calendar, documents, photos, and more. Keep that. And then gives us an option for signing up with Ubuntu Pro. Upgrade this machine to Ubuntu Pro for security updates on a much wider. Upgrade this machine to Ubuntu Pro for security updates on a much wider range of packages till 2032. Fulfill FedRAMP, FIPS, STIG, and HIPAA, and other compliance and hardening requirements with certified tooling and crypto modules. Free for up to 5 machines. Skip for now. Help improve Ubuntu. Next. Allows applications to determine a geographical location. This is more like apps like maps, or to have more relevant data being returned to you. Click next. Ready to go. You can install software, or you can use software. Software is the name of the app. It's on here with the A, called Ubuntu software. You can use software to install apps like these. Done. And it has updates that, remember when we were installing it, I said that you have an option of having it download and install updates as it's installing Ubuntu. And I opted not to have it do that. But here it is. It's reminding us we need to install updates. I'll set it to remind me later. Save it for another video. This is the Ubuntu Desktop. This is where we'll end the recording. Thank you for watching this video. Please remember to subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Also turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any updates. I will continue this series in a future video where I'll detail the features of Ubuntu with you. See you in the next video.